The views expressed in the following program do not necessarily represent the views of this station or its management.
Real People, Real Life is brought to you by these fine sponsors.
Good afternoon. Once again, Real People, Real Life from right here in Wichita, Kansas, America.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Joey.
Hi,
You're
Mark.
back.
Yes.
Hi, Dawn. Hi, Fossa.
Hello, guys.
Joey's not with us, or Joe isn't with us because
Joey's not.
Joey's here, but Joe isn't.
never really
yeah, I always get you guys confused. He's busy preparing for his court case in the morning against the city.
Oh, no.
Okay, yeah.
So that we've all been hearing about every week. Dun, dun,
Watch
dun,
out,
dun.
City. Well,
I know. So, Hammond Liquor is one of our favorite sponsors.
I see that. I wonder
Yeah.
why.
So, I wanted to get out the fact that it's Oktoberfest.
Oktoberfest.
Okay?
That's right.
Hey.
So,
He said, guess what I have?
Look
and
what
we
I
just,
got.
Joey and I just had this conversation. Like,
yeah.
what did we
No,
do?
no, this isn't the that morning show with the chicks in the
Oh,
morning.
yeah,
that
yeah.
are
No.
30 minutes into the show, they're like, yeah.
Why not? Let's go.
No. We have too awesome of a show today.
Grand
So this
TV.
one here is the Shiner Oktoberfest.
Do you know what it
And
tastes like?
these are all marked at 10% off, okay?
Ooh,
So,
nice.
all of their Oktoberfest. And then this one here is...
Oh, I get it. Each one of these have came out with their own version of their
Oh, yeah.
Oktoberfest.
Yeah.
It's a
Yummy.
popular.
Oh, my
We've
God.
done, I feel a
That
taste
one's
test is in
very-
Something different over here.
And
Joey?
the pumpkin ale.
Now we got a Schlafly pumpkin ale over here.
yeah.
That's like a muffin in a bottle.
Oh,
And I'm not talking about I
Hey,
think the genie
that's
either.
not-
Okay.
now,
my
the
gosh.
Shiner come with a polka band. I think it does, doesn't it?
polka band.
Yeah.
You know, I
think
Let's
it's
open
a
up and
polka
find
band,
out.
your polka
No, it'd be a
band.
Because of the
Texas polka
music.
band.
The token,
so,
well, yeah, absolutely.
But I just thought, hey, it's
Be a bigger
Oktoberfest.
polka
We
band.
have a little bit of fun.
Go to
and bring in some of these
Hammond. It's the best place in town to buy
Oktoberfest
Tawaka.
beers.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Hammond.
Hammond Liquor's on the corner of West
Tyler.
Kellogg and Tyler Road.
ma'am.
Okay, great family-owned business. And that kind of, speaking of business, it's been brought up to the state before, and I think there are other people trying to do it again, where they were wanting to pretty much put a lot of mom and pop liquor stores out of business by making it available for purchase, hard liquor, okay, available
Walmart and
for
stuff.
purchase in Walmart and Dillon's. I personally have a problem with that one. That would put an awful lot of small businesses out of business.
Oh, it would destroy the small mom and pop
It
liquor
would.
store.
You know,
It
I'm
would.
not
It
gonna
would.
lie. I'm
I
from
think-
somewhere where they have always been in the Walmarts. People still choose the other stores to go to because they're just closer and they've already drank usually. I don't know, but whatever.
Well, you can get 3-2
do.
beer. 3-2
You
beer.
can get, but the stronger,
well, no, the
liquors.
liquors. They have like liquor aisles.
Right.
Well, they do in the Sam's Club, but not in Walmart in Wichita.
Right, I'm saying in where I'm from. And
Yeah.
so, like, that when I came here and found out you guys didn't, because I'm not going to lie, it would take business away from these people because when you're in there just picking up your average everything else, you just snatch up the liquor. from the
Toilet
shop.
paper, Jack Daniels.
But I really feel like
Okay.
One
I
of
really
their
feel like they've
strongest-
cornered enough of all the different markets that they don't need to do that one.
Right,
That one's
right.
One of the strongest arguments for keeping it in Hammond's and other family-owned stores is they have a license to protect. So
Correct.
they're going to make sure there's no underage people buying liquor.
and
Well-
see how easy would it be mass sold,
It's just one more thing.
Well,
You
wouldn't
can-
that also throw like the cashiers under the bus as well? I mean, don't you have to be
Isn't
a
it
certain
just
age
like-
to be able
yeah.
to sell alcohol?
Yeah.
Yes, you
You're
do.
supposed
I mean, I know when
to.
I buy cigarettes at Dillon's
So
or
does it
whatever
change
else,
the age of
if,
the cashier?
if the cashier isn't old
would
enough, they
have
have to
some
step away
employment.
from the register and have someone else ring up the deal for me.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So
Right. Yeah. And the way it stands now, alcohol beverage control can go in and ticket not just the store owner but
the
also
cashier.
the cashier. And I don't think that if Walmart were
That's
to take this
unfair.
on I don't think
they
that would be
wouldn't
the
properly
case.
train.
does Walmart really need?
I
to
don't
sell
believe they
alcohol?
do.
They sell
That's
it.
my whole
They sell
point.
everything that you can buy from China. Period. I mean,
much.
Why do you have to add this to
They
it?
don't make any beer in China that I drink.
They're not going to make
Why would
enough
I go to
money
Walmart
off
to buy
of
my
it.
beer
Why
now?
take that, away? That's
Right.
what I'm saying. They're going to try and offer it at such a cheap price. They're really not going to be making that much money off of it anyway. They're just one more thing they're trying to take from, mom and pop stores basically.
Yeah.
Small
Then that's a big
business.
problem. That's to me. I just think it's a problem. But to get back to it, it's
Oktoberfest.
Oktoberfest. Okay.
Do
So,
you guys have your Halloween costumes decided?
I'm wearing it.
Joey.
Oh, Joey.
I believe you
No,
are
you're not
you?
because what's on you won't be here after
No,
next
it's
week.
covered in clothes.
Oh,
Ah,
I mean your hair. You won't even have that after next week.
Oh boy. Yeah.
I
yeah.
did
Oh.
get. I got.
Live
Yeah.
haircut
You know,
next
I
week.
got
Spotlight
something
business.
in. I got something
Oh.
in at Karma on Friday. Part of the inventory. We bought some new stuff for the holidays, and I meant to bring one of them with me. And I promise I will have it next week. Okay, because it is hilarious, and I meant to bring it today, and I
Teaser,
thought, gosh,
teaser.
dang it,
What
I
is
know,
it?
totally gonna tease you on this one.
Okay, here's what you want to come back next week.
I hate
Exactly,
that.
I
I'm
know,
going
right?
to Karma from here and trying to find out what it is.
Oh, you're gonna love.
Well,
you're gonna die
my
laughing.
my
You are
wife
going
noticed
to.
Are we
we've
gonna
got
dress
salt
up?
lamps in.
Yes, well, we've always had those. Yeah.
Those are awesome.
Are we going to dress up next week?
Oh, why not?
Why not?
Oh yeah, it's Halloween.
You can't.
Oh, why not?
We're having
Can't
some
roll your
scary.
hair.
We may have
Wear
some
a mask.
scary characters on too. I don't know.
I know. Oh my gosh, and we do need to get to that because I am so excited. Okay, for our guests, the rest of the entire show today.
Right.
Okay.
Too.
Yes.
Dear Mr. Oh man, Mr. Keen Umber, I cannot thank this gentleman enough for what he's doing. I can't thank his son, Dr. Josh, who's running as his lieutenant governor, and then his fabulous wife. I've had many conversations, mostly digital, texting and Facebooking and stuff like that. But what a neat lady, what a neat family,
Absolutely.
to step forward and do this. I do believe, again, this is my opinion, that the reason for a third party is bigger now than it ever has been.
Absolutely.
For those of us, if you don't understand, Keen Umber is running for the governor's position here in the state of Kansas on the Libertarian ticket.
Yes.
Why I think that we need to get started with a good third party opportunity is because what we have now is so much gridlock. Nothing is getting accomplished, and it's just ridiculous. And I keep having people every single day going, I just don't like having to choose the lesser of two evils. Well, guess what? You don't have to choose the lesser of two evils in this election. Thank God.
You can pick the lesser of three evils. No.
No. 'Cause
I
do
take that
not
back.
know, Mr.
I
King,
mean, I'm hearing it's not even going to count, and that breaks my heart because really and truly, I don't want to have to pick
they
between the
want you
lesser
to
of those
think
two
that,
evils.
but that is not true. Don't.
That's why when I found out there was a third party, I really felt like there was a ray of hope. You know what I'm saying?
For everybody
There
who-
is a ray of
Yep.
hope, and do not let people tell you that because that is
So
not true.
just make sure you guys go out and vote, and don't be swayed by what everybody's saying.
Don't live in the fear planet. I've had enough fear from everybody and their dog on some of the different things out there that it's just getting a little bit ridiculous. The
I've
commercials.
never
are
heard a politician
insane.
tell me everything's on the table before. You know what I'm saying?
I think we're going to get a lot of things on the table today, and
I think
I'm-
that's wonderful.
And I
though.
think it's fair because other media, for whatever reason, and I did get a message today, and I should probably play this later, from one of the sales managers at a local TV network, who was not going to allow, Keen to be
Come
on
today?
to be on a debate, and the message I got was, we already gave him free time, so you guys need to just, stop some of this.
What, are they afraid?
I think so.
Are they afraid they're going to make
Fear
somebody
bubble.
look little funky? I mean, a couple guys already kind of look a little off anyway. I mean,
Well,
is
don't
it
we know?
sad if you put something else to compare them to that,
Well, just so that you know that we did fire off emails, because even though technically
we don't.
we don't have to do
No, but
this,
we are very
but we're still
politically
very professional in what we
Right.
do, and we did send off emails to Brownback and to Davis. Now,
Absolutely.
keep in mind, when
I'm having a flashback.
keep in mind, no.
I was gonna say, really?
Oh God,
Yeah, we
do I
called-
really want to go through
we
this
called
again?
and talked to both campaigns and then sent the email. So
Okay.
I've got
Ample
verbal.
opportunity was given.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now keep in mind, back before the primary, that on at least 6 occasions, if I recall correctly, I approached and Dawn approached. Several of us approached Brownback to come on. I think that guy is scared to death of me. I don't know why.
I think we're all
and his buddy Mike. His buddy Mike doesn't like us at all, but that's
No.
okay.
Oh,
That's
I
okay. He
know.
doesn't have to like us.
I know. I
You
know.
know, as long as we spark conversation around Mr. Mike's name, it's all right. Hi, Mike. How you doing?
Yeah, and I really don't need a gaggle, as it was called. I remember the radio station called me. There's a gaggle of attorneys here, and they want you off the air now. And I'm like, oh really?
Yeah.
You know, well, let's
Repeat.
see how this
Let's
is going to
not do a
happen.
repeat.
I've been
Yeah.
fired
So-
from classier joints than that.
Oh God! Don't even go there. Don't even go there. So we have got a ton of topics, and therefore we are going to dedicate the entire rest of the show.
I know, I'm really
Excellent.
excited. I feel like we might actually not come out of it at the end feeling like we didn't have enough time like we
We don't
usually
want to leave
do.
anything
I know.
in the tank today. We want to get all out there and let people get a real idea of who
Right.
King Umber is
Right.
and why he should be the next governor of Kansas.
Definitely. That's the goal. Don't believe what people are saying. I
hard
don't
not to.
believe that. You know, there's different places you can check out. There's on Facebook, for example, there's Keene, Keen, Keene for Kansas. And one that I like is the 34% for Keene. In a three-way race, 34% we can get there. And I personally think if we get out here and we fight for this,
See, that's
that
a
we
different number than
should.
I was being given. Are we at 34% right now?
Well,
that's what we
not
need.
at polling yet. And again, hello kids, you know how I feel about polling.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you literally can manipulate polls.
By the questions you
Okay,
ask.
by the questions you ask, the people you call. So
How you word
again, do not
do you
buy
think I get
into that
dates?
BS, for lack of a
Right.
better term.
And Fossa, if anybody tells you that your vote doesn't count, you tell them to kiss your white lily. Because period,
That's true.
if your vote doesn't count, the only time your vote does not count is when you don't cast it.
That's
Get
correct.
out there.
Yeah.
You got
today
2 weeks
was
from
the
today to get out there and put your vote in.
Vote thing.
So-
Did you get your early vote cards?
Yes.
No, I like to go the day of, just because I
those cards
can.
make me nervous because they're like, if you have a shaky hand at all and it goes out of this circle,
I'm always afraid
or
they're
you
going to
didn't
classify it
fill
as
in
a
every
provisional
single
ballot.
last little
Provisional
white
ballots really
spot.
never even get touched.
Only if they
You know,
need
I
to.
mean-
Only if they need to.
Only if they need it. But, if they were to count all the provisional ballots in so many of these past elections, how many of the elections would have gone the opposite direction if they would have just gone
Well,
with
that's
it?
where they determine that they're needed. Let's say
Right.
the vote of margin's
Right.
100 people and there's 500 provincials. Well, then they have to get into them to see.
We're going to have to take a quick break here.
All right, yeah,
But
commercial.
Boo.
we will have
We'll be
the
back.
one and only.
The one and only. Yes.
I hope our next governor of Kansas, Mr.
Beer.
Keene Umber.
No.
Real people, real life. We'll be right back.
Real People, Real Life is brought to you by these fine sponsors.
At Trailer Town, we're all about selection, service, and safety. Trailer Town Selection, hundreds to choose from, small to large, lightweight aluminum to heavy-duty steel, all types, new and used. Trailer Town Service, the best in the Midwest, from wiring to axle repair. Trailer Town Safety, yes, we do Department of Transportation inspections. Trailer Town, trusted, family-owned, 301 West 53rd Street North.
Credit King Auto Sales is getting better all the time. We're doing it better. We're doing it better all the time.
Credit King Auto Sales, the king of buy here, pay here. Bad credit, no problem. The King specializes in getting you in the ride you want no matter the credit score. Credit King doing it better all the time with the largest selection to choose from in all price ranges at one location. The King's Corner, 31st Street South and Broadway. Kansas' biggest buy here, pay here. GoCreditKing.com.
Hammond Liquor, home of the coldest beer in town and the lowest prices store-wide. For all your special events, your friends at Hammond Liquor have what you need, from beer, wines, spirits, champagne, and more. Open till 8 p.m. every Sunday. Hammond Liquor, West Kellogg and Tyler Road. Hammond Liquor, home of the coldest beer in town and lowest prices store-wide, wants to remind you of very important savings days. Wine Day, Tuesdays get 20% off. Beer Day, Wednesdays get 10% off. Microbrews and imports. Open till 8 p.m. every Sunday. Hammond Liquor, West Kellogg and Tyler Road.
Welcome back once again, Real People, Real Life, Wichita, Kansas, America, and we are honored
Yes.
Sir, thank you so
Well, thank
much.
you.
Mr.
Thank you,
Keen
sir.
Umber,
Yes,
who
thank you.
I literally pray every night, just so you know, you and your family are in my prayers because we need you.
Well, thank you. I'm very pleased to be here.
We need
Very
you.
excited.
We need you. We need you. I mentioned a couple of your Facebook pages earlier, the Keen for Kansas and the 34% for Keen. There's also a couple of websites, keenforkansas.com
Right.
and 34forkeen.com.
Right.
Okay, so folks, you can definitely go and check some of that stuff out. But this is how cool, okay, this guy is. See this? See this? This is a nice long list. This is what this is a nice long list that we're going to let Mr. Umber give us the answers to.
Fantastic.
That
Absolutely.
nobody else is going to be willing to do. So we are very honored. And I'm just going to start with one that was brought to my attention, if that's okay, and that's going to go into basically our education.
Right.
And tying in with that education, I had another mother and a school teacher ask me to ask you about Common Core. So, fire away, sir.
Far away. Common Core is the federalization of our education system.
Correct.
And I'm totally opposed to it. We should defund
Thank
it
you.
immediately. We don't need to teach our kids what they're learning in California and New York.
Correct.
We're Kansas. We can develop our own curriculum standards for what Kansas kids need to learn to be
Right.
successful in Kansas. And I
Right.
think this federalization part of Common Core is wrong. Immediately defund it, develop our own. So
I agree.
that's an easy decision for me.
I agree. And there is a group, Kansans Against Common Core.
Right.
And you have a lot of people that are friends of that group that are also supporters of yours. When we're talking about education in Kansas, wowza.
Yeah.
Boy, somebody sure did goober that up.
You know,
Hang on, let me get an answer.
Well,
how can we fix what he
the way to fix education in Kansas is two things. It's local control, right? So the Bay State aid is one part of the school district finance formula. That's $4,400 and some change. And then what the school district taxes in their local school districts, ad valorem tax. You add two together, that's what funds the districts. It really doesn't make any difference what the Bay State aid is. You've heard Mr. Brownback says he's increased it. Mr. Davis says he's decreased it. Back and forth. He's a liar. He's a
That's all they do is
You know,
call each other liar,
but
liar, pants on fire, liar, liar.
It doesn't
pants on
make
fire.
any difference what that number is. I mean, we could make it 5,000. It's still the local districts decide how much is going to go into teacher salaries, how much is going to go into classrooms, and so to try to equalize it out amongst all 286 districts is ridiculous.
Right.
If you want a fair funding, what we need to do is we need to take away from all these business incentives. We have HPIP, Peak, and Impact. These three programs collectively allow a 10-year tax abatement on their footprint of their property, a tax abatement on their machinery and equipment, and then for 10 years they get to withhold 95% of their state's withholdings. So you see, we're never going to get rid of property tax on the wage earner.
Right.
Okay? And then if you look at all the towers, wind towers out in western Kansas, they have a lifetime tax abatement. This is crazy. Every business, like every property owner in Kansas, should be paying at least school district property tax. If they would
Correct.
do that, we wouldn't have any problem with funding or money for education. And
Yes.
the principle is all laws have to apply equally to everyone all the time, not just a little old lady on a fixed income across the street. That's crazy. These multi-billion-dollar companies give you an example. Siemens has a large holding out by Hutchin in wind towers. Their third quarter profits this year was $1.3 billion.
Man.
They
With
can't
a B.
yes. They can't pay their school district property tax. If they were required to, believe me, we'd have money in every school district that needs money.
How can we
That's
change it?
another thing that I completely respect about you is the fact that the Constitution means something to you.
It
Yeah.
does.
And making laws that are fair is very important, and I can't appreciate you and that. I just can't appreciate it enough. Something that I wanted to talk to you about too was going to be about flat tax.
Flat tax. Well, right now the governor's income tax plan allows 191,000 of us to run our own business. We get to pay zero income tax. So I'm an attorney. All the profit and wages I pay myself coming out of my law firm, I get to pay zero income tax. Well, yay for me. But if you're a wage earner in Kansas, you have to pay all the income tax paid on wages. And there's no plans on changing it. That is insidious. It makes 1.4 million wage earners the tax slave of the Kansas legislature.
It does.
And the way to change that is institute the Kansas Fair Tax. The Kansas Fair Tax was introduced last session. It's HB 2625. In its current form, it's got some problems, but the theory's there. We repeal income tax, sales tax, corporation tax, and financial institution tax, and a few other taxes, and in its place we put in a 5.7% consumption tax on goods and services. Now, who do you think is the biggest objector of the Kansas Fair
Big
Tax?
business.
Big business.
Absolutely,
Because
corporations.
they don't want to pay.
Well, they want to pay their taxes. They don't want, because they don't want anybody to mess with their exemptions, all these property tax
Right.
exemptions. So they'll pay the little pittance of corporation tax that they have to pay.
Right.
Just don't mess with our exemptions. Well, you know, all laws have to be applied equally to everyone all the time. That's the 14th Amendment. But when we get to business and incentives, they don't want to do this. But I have to ask you, who funds campaigns?
Corporations.
Right. So that's why Mr. Brownback gave the corporations the first part of the zero income tax rate. We want a flat tax. We want it at zero because no one can mess with zero. And you know, the insidious thing about it is it shows a total lack of understanding of how businesses grow. Mr. Brownback's plan was give the business owners a zero income tax, and for some reason we'll go out and hire more employees. Why would we do that? We staff up to meet demand, and then we stop. We don't hire another employee just to sit there and read a magazine. That's not why I hire employees.
Exactly.
You know, so you know, nothing is going to happen. That's why his tax plan didn't result in any kind of economic growth.
It didn't.
And you know, Mr. Brown.
We've lost a lot of small businesses.
We have a lot.
Oh, I mean, look at Amazon, 1,000. Look at John Deere. Look at the wire company down there in Coffeyville. Look at Arco. Sprint just announced they're laying off 450 in Kansas City. You know, so Mr. Brownback claims that, you know, since 2011, he has
crazy
created
claims.
He has. I see that.
55,000 new jobs.
Are Brownback and Barry from the same cloth?
They must be. Same cloth, same.
That's
same,
what I'm thinking.
Yeah, because everybody knows unemployed, struggling, trying to find work. You know, it's ridiculous.
We have
There's no
people in our
jobs.
neighborhood. We live out by Cessna and Learjet, out in that area, Bombardier. We still have neighbors that were hit with the first rounds of layoffs 2, 3, 4 years ago, and they're still looking. You know, some of them have just said, "Fine," you know, and they're working 2 and 3 jobs.
Well, and look at these big companies. They have their economists. I mean, everybody, all these big companies at that level have their economists. Boeing, they look down the road 24 months and they said, man, Kansas is not where we want to be. Sprint's done the same thing. Amazon's done the same thing. All these big companies, you know, the question that was asked of Nick Jordan. He's a revenue secretary at Pachyderm Club a couple weekends ago. He made the statement, Brownback created 55,000 jobs since 2011. Somebody asked him a question, well, how many jobs were lost during that same time period? Because it's the net jobs that make the difference. He said he didn't keep track of those numbers.
Oh, I'm certain he wouldn't.
Well, no, it's just like with the federal government saying that we've had this percentage of job growth. Well, okay, is it really job growth, or is it those people that have fallen off the edge and they no longer can get this money
Quality
to sustain
job.
themselves from the unemployment?
Right.
You know, they're no longer taking an unemployment check, so they're no longer on the unemployment roster.
You know,
they run out.
They're off.
No, I'm
You're
looking
done.
for
You don't
work.
get anything.
You know, I'm a lawyer, Brownback's a lawyer, Davis is a lawyer. We use terms and we throw them around, and we know when in a criminal case or in a civil case, when the lawyer is promoting one deal, you know that that's not the truth. So the truth is, they say, well, unemployment has shrunk down in Kansas. Well, that number is a number that determines how many first-time unemployment claims have been filed. That doesn't tell us anything about the strength of the economy. How many people are working, how many people are not working and looking for jobs. That's the huge number that no one wants to talk
They don't
about.
want to tell you about that one. They don't want to tell you
Do
about
you
that
got
one.
those numbers?
I can't, no, I don't have them. I do know that when you just read the paper, 1,000 at Amazon, 450 at Sprint.
That's
You know,
just
even the Kansas National Guard's laying off 150.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, anybody that can sit here and with a straight face, look into a TV camera and say things are fantastic.
The sun is shining.
The sun is shining.
What are you talking about? They hardly air those ones. Now they're airing the bashing each other ones, which, in my opinion,
they have
if you're
nothing better
bashing
to
someone,
do. I mean, I sat there, and I almost said this the other day. I was like, gosh, you folks that are all about this whole adult entertainment club, I know club owners are probably just kissing their toes and thanking you, seriously, because the amount of airtime that they're getting mentioned in. I mean,
advertising.
Seriously, they can't buy.
Yeah, this guy's sitting there going, what am I going to do tonight? Hey, wait a minute.
Hey,
all right.
wait a second.
Maybe I'll run into Paul Davis. Who knows?
Yeah,
If it's good enough for him, it's good enough for me.
Exactly. It just totally cracks me up. I just laugh, but then I've had people say, that they really are sick and tired of it, and they don't really appreciate their children, young children, coming up to them and saying, Mommy, what's an adult entertainment place?
Right.
I think it's tacky.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Well, it's certainly not like Get Air Wichita or a trampoline place, right? I mean, adult entertainment. That's skeet, trap, pistol ranges.
Fishing. Okay.
Fishing.
Fishing. Oh, yeah, definitely.
When you hear those commercials, if you feel dumber after hearing one of those commercials,
It's because you are.
well, that
It
means
killed your brain
they're
cells.
trying to trick you into voting a certain way, but
Yeah.
they're not giving any substantive answers.
Exactly.
To hear one that says sex, drugs, and politics, and the other one says, he's cut, education funding the worst since any governor on earth. All those are they're not telling us what they're going to do for the state.
That's
Exactly.
it. That's it. That's it. That's
So,
it. That's what I
You've
want to
outlined
know.
a clear plan of what you're going to do, where you're going to go, and how you're going to get there.
That's right. The Kansas Fair tax is a beginning point where we have to start.
Yeah.
We have to, whatever you're talking about money,
Yeah.
right? And we have to fix that first. We have to free everybody and have them pay the same rate
I
of tax,
agree.
zero.
I
Okay, and then, but I get there. I'm elected governor January 12, 2015. You think the legislature is going to say, "Oh, Umber, you are so right. We were so misguided." When
I
we
don't think
passed
so.
it."
I think
No.
you're going to have a little bit of a fight on your hands.
Right, and so what I vowed to do is veto every single piece of legislation
Good
until
job.
they fix this first.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, that's hardball. They're not
That's
used to
what you
being
gotta
dealt
do
that way.
sometimes.
No.
So if they want to play the override game, fine, try to override it. But they have to sign that override petition. And whatever legislation they pass costs money to enforce, right? Who's paying it? Well, not the 191,000 of us. We
That's
don't pay
right.
taxes.
Yeah.
It's just the wage earner. So every piece of legislation they want to try to pass, because in 2016, the legislature's got a little problem. They're all up for re-election. All 125 House seats, all 40 Senate seats. They have to pass silly legislation in order to have something to crow about.
Yeah.
Re-elect me because I passed the Save the Puppies Act or something. But that is what has to stop.
Yeah.
So veto everything, fix this first, then we'll talk about this other legislation.
See,
We've got a
that's why
lot
we
to
need
fix.
you.
We do.
That's the right attitude.
We're going to take a real quick break, and then we've got a whole bunch more to come right back to,
I'm
okay?
ready. I'm ready.
Thank you again. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Real people, real life. We'll be right back.
Real People, Real Life is brought to you by these fine sponsors.
At Economy Motors, we know that everything costs more these days. Gas costs more, utilities cost more, groceries cost more. But what's one thing that will not cost you more? Buying your next vehicle with us. Everything we have is priced $12,995 or under. Bad credit, no worries. No crazy gimmicks and no bait and switch. We keep it real. Economy Motors, home of easy pay. We've got your back.
Don't worry, please, don't worry, 'cause at Economy Motors, we got your back.
Hammond Liquor, home of the coldest beer in town and the lowest prices store-wide. For all your special events, your friends at Hammond Liquor have what you need, from beer, wines, spirits, champagne, and more. Open till 8 p.m. every Sunday. Hammond Liquor, West Kellogg and Tyler Road. Hammond Liquor, home of the coldest beer in town and lowest prices store-wide, wants to remind you of very important savings days. Wine Day, Tuesdays get 20% off. Beer Day, Wednesdays get 10% off. Microbrews and imports. Open till 8 p.m. every Sunday. Hammond Liquor, West Kellogg and Tyler Road.
Knapp Weaponry is the home of Wichita's newest indoor temperature-controlled shooting range. Mention this ad for 2-for-1 pricing weekdays from noon to 4. Knapp Weaponry is an NRA Business Alliance member that offers NRA and state-certified instruction classes, training, and women's unarmed self-defense classes. We buy and sell new and used guns and offer gunsmith services. Knapp Weaponry offers a free range session with the purchase of a new gun. We also offer transfer services and an array of ammo. Knapp Weaponry, the West Side's best-kept secret.
Sal's Japanese Steakhouse, 6829 East Kellogg Drive. A Wichita tradition for awesome dining and always a great time. Enjoy our Monday to Thursday specials, including half-price chicken and shrimp dinners. Sal's is open 7 days a week. Come in, relax, and let us give you the treat of fine dining and good fun in a beautiful atmosphere. From our family to yours, Sal's Japanese Steakhouse, 6829 East Kellogg, Wichita, Kansas.
Credit King Auto Sales is getting better all the time. We're doing it better. We're doing it better all the time.
Credit King Auto Sales, the king of buy here, pay here. Bad credit, no problem. The King specializes in getting you in the ride you want no matter the credit score. Credit King doing it better all the time with the largest selection to choose from in all price ranges at one location. The King's Corner, 31st Street South and Broadway. Kansas' biggest buy here, pay here. GoCreditKing.com.